You know what's the funny part about every single year diving into like the new rookie class is you get reminded of the same things over and over and over and over again. Like one of them being is we just have no idea about quarterback prospects. There's going to be someone who loves a guy. There's going to be someone who equally hates a guy, and none of us know how well they're going to do in the NFL. Neither do the people that are drafting them. Another thing that is so apparent is that every tight end ever looks like every tight end that you've ever watched. Like every tight end looks the same on film, outside of a few, right? Outside of a few that are like Kyle Pitts in his college film. They all look like Jason Witten to an extent. They all look like Mercedes Lewis, or they all fit into the same molds, and we just have no idea how they're going to actually play out in the NFL, except for Dalton Kincaid out of Utah. This kid is my favorite tight end in the class by far and away. I have seen every mock draft up to this point have Michael Mayer from Notre Dame go off the board, top 12, top 15, top 18 as the tight end one. And I started doing my write-up for Dalton Kincaid for the BDGE Rookie Draft Guide, which went up for pre-order yesterday, bdge.co. You can go grab that right now for a discounted price. And I'm watching this kid, and I'm like, how the fuck is he not regarded as the next great pass-catching tight end? And then I'm filming this video. You're watching it on Tuesday, I think. I filmed this last week. I did the write-up on Dalton Kincaid prior to the Lance Zierlein mock draft 2.0 dropping, in which he had Dalton Kincaid going off the board 15th overall in the first round, tight end one to the Green Bay Packers. I want to back his ass up. I want to flex a little bit, and I want to tell y'all today why Dalton Kincaid will be the next great fantasy tight end. We are not saying the car's topless.
Don't say my car's topless. Say the titties is out.
The titties is out. The shirts are tucked. When you're watching Dalton Kincaid, 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", 240, in that Darren Waller-esque mode, you're not watching a tight end. You're watching a very, very big slot wide receiver. When I first started watching the film, I was like, all right, 1,000%, this is one of those kids that just played basketball, just an athlete, smashed 3 different sports, had a fucking varsity jacket in the 7th grade, and then just happened to be like, let me play football and just stomp on people. And that's what happened. He was a basketball player in high school. That's like what he did. And then his senior year, he decided to say, fuck it, I'm going to play football. That was the only year of high school football that he played. His senior year, he decided to sign up. So you play 1 year as a high school senior. You're not going to get offers from big name schools. He ends up walking on to San Diego and plays at San Diego for 2 years. So this dude's like 2 years, 2.5 years into his football career, and then he gets an offer from Utah. Now, Utah, not a big name school, I guess, but they play pretty fucking big as of recently. They are a very, very big, well-known school now, and they have a lot of success. And a lot of players go to the NFL level now from schools like Utah. So we have 1 year of high school football. He goes to San Diego, plays at San Diego, gets an offer from Utah. By year 2 at Utah, he is leading the team in receiving touchdowns, scores 8 touchdowns his sophomore year, his second year at Utah. By 2022, we're looking at the best offensive player on Utah, first team all Pac-12 tight end, and who Lance Zierlein comps to Zach Ertz, which I actually think is not underwhelming from a production standpoint. Obviously, Ertz has been an all-star, but from what he could do with the ball in his hands. Zach Ertz has always been a dude who's like really strong at the catch point, doesn't make a lot of dudes miss after the fact. Dalton Kincaid wraps all of that together in one. It feels like every year with the tight ends, right? Like the reason they all kind of fall into the similar mold is they look the same on the field, right? Like a lot of them test really well. They all are like 6'5", 250 and run 4.55s or 4.65s, and you're like, oh, their speed score is 98th percentile. Fucking somehow every tight end is in the 98th percentile for speed score. But then there's when you watch the dude play, and you're like, okay, when he decides to turn short, in a straight line, he might run fucking faster than 98% of people on planet Earth. But when he turns right or left, does he look like he's driving a tractor trailer? Does he look like that Austin Power Dr. Evil meme? Or does he look like a fluid athlete? Because Dalton Kincaid looks like the latter to an exponential degree. Like some of the things this kid does on the field are not normal. He looks like a big slot. He looks like Michael Pittman going up over the middle for a jump ball on the seam, or snatching the ball on the sideline with a toe drag. He's too fast for the linebackers. He's too big and powerful for cornerbacks. He's a matchup nightmare literally anywhere on the field, and he has done this in just a few years. He's going to be really, really good in a few years. Now, sometimes I watch guys play, and I'm like, man, they jump off the field when I'm watching, but do their numbers back it up? And I could not be more pleasantly erect when I came away from diving into his numbers. I'll just basically read off the stats that we have for you in the BDGE rookie draft guide, okay? He led all tight ends nationally in receptions with 70. He led all tight ends nationally in receiving yards with 890. He ranked second in yards per route run, 2.42, third in overall missed tackles forced, 16. Forcing a whiff on 28.6% of his total receptions. That rate is the 6th highest in the country. His 2.8% drop rate was amongst the nation's lowest, and unsurprisingly, Utah had him block on just 4.2% of their pass plays. You're not drafting this guy to be an all-around blocker. You're drafting this guy to catch passes at a high level. He ran 55.1% of his plays from the slot. That was the 7th highest rate in the country. He also operated outside the hashes at a rate of 9.5%, which was top 15 in the country. This dude is a weapon all over the place. And you might say, like, okay, you have to be an all-around tight end in order to really make an impact at the next level. It's just not true. When you look at the list of guys who are asked to block on fewer than 30% of their team snaps, you get the guys like Travis Kelce and Zach Ertz and Darren Waller and Hayden Hurst. And not to be dramatic, but the Bengals better fucking draft Dalton Kincaid 28th overall if they let Hayden Hurst walk and he falls to them there. All right? That's my spiel on Dalton Kincaid. That's why he is my tight end 1. That's why he will remain my tight end 1 unless he ends up running like a 4.94 at the combine, which we will see by this Saturday. I believe the tight ends do their thing. But yeah, listen, I just think the upside is crazy for this kid. And if you watch a single game of his, you'll realize it immediately. Does he have downside? Of course. He's not a great blocker. He can get shoved around sometimes when he's in the trenches and in the line of scrimmage, and if they ask him to start his route in line and a DN chips him, he might get thrown off his route a little bit. He's also not like the perfect tactician, the perfect route runner, because again, he's very inexperienced at playing tight end, a 3-down position. He just started playing as a senior in high school. He's not running Devontae Adams level of routes, but he's really, really good at finding the soft spots in the zones. He's really, really athletic. So even if he doesn't create crazy separation, he's coming down with the ball. 2.8% drop percentage. All right. You're going to see what he can do on individual plays, and he's going to be a first-round pick, and he's going to be one of the better pass catchers at the tight end position in the NFL within the next few years. Grab him everywhere in rookie drafts while people are letting him slide outside of the top 15, top 18, top 22. I don't give a fuck. Kincaid about to be Medicaid for your dynasty team.